How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down how to make $100 a day swing trading stocks in the stock market, which I'll be honest, no BS here, it is not an easy thing to do, but I will break it down to my best ability from my 7+ years of experience in the stock market doing this stuff. And as you all can see on my iPad here, I have a bunch of notes that I'm going to cover in this video. So sit back, relax, go down below, smash the like button if you find value, grab your $50 from M1 Finance, your 2 stocks from Webull, and check out my Patreon for more access to me, exclusive content, buy and sell alerts, all that good stuff. All of that's linked down below. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So number one, first and foremost, to have any chance of making $100 a day, and by the way, let's get this out right in the beginning of this video. You don't necessarily have to make $100 every day. You can make $700 in one day, which averages out to $100 a day. So keep that in mind. But to have any chance of making $100 a day, you have to have a decent sized account. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't even have to have 6 figures, to be honest, although having 6 figures helps, let's be honest. But to have any chance, you have to have at least $30,000, $50,000, $70,000, because if you have, let's say, a $5,000 account, $10,000, even a $15,000 account, you're going to make crazy decisions, let's be honest, because you're going to be chasing penny stocks. You're going to be playing short-term call options to try and make that $100 a day, and you're not going to be focusing on good quality blue chip stocks, which from my experience, and you guys know this if you follow my daily content, which I guarantee you'll find value in, so you got to subscribe to watch that stuff. But if you watch me, you know that I trade mostly blue chip stocks for the most part, which again, from my experience, have been the best to trade to make $100 a day. But again, if you have 5, 10, 15,000 and you're trying to make that $100 a day, you're going to end up making crazy decisions and doing so, which will thus blow up your account, which that's not good. Nobody wants that. So first and foremost, to have the best chance of making $100 a day, which is no easy task in the stock market, guys, you got to have at least 30, 40, 50, 60, 70K, and 6 figures plus, of course, is great. And in other words, you have to be above or out of the PDT rule, which that's a whole different topic. We're not going to talk about that in today's video. So that's first and foremost. And number two is to spread your bets, right? Let's say you have $50,000 that you're playing with. Don't put all of that 50 into one trade, where let's say you make 10% and that's $5,000, which is great. But I think you have to spread your bets, and this is from my experience and from my opinion, guys, and by no means am I a financial advisor. This is, again, from my experience. I think spreading your bets, but not too thin, is the best way to go. And by not too thin, I mean, let's say you have 50 grand. Don't buy 50 stocks, $1,000 in each. That is way too thin. I think a great thing to do is, let's say you have 50K, maybe buy 3, 4, or 5 swing trades with about $10,000 to $12,000 to $15,000 in each. That would be a great way to go, because if you think about it, you have 50K, you make, let's say, a couple swing trades, you make 5, 10% on those swing trades over a couple of weeks, that is going to average out to about $100 a day. And sure, you're not going to make $100 every single day, so call me a clickbaiter, whatever. But over time, as you build up your account, and you average this thing out, and you're making $600, $700 a week, hey, what is that? That's $100 a day. But again, this takes time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not something you can do overnight. I'm telling you guys, I've been in this game for 7+ years at this point, and it took me a while to get to a point where I was even profitable, let alone making a good $700 a week, which, let's be honest, the average American makes about, what is it, like 40K, 35? I don't even know, which pretty much is $700 a week. So to make a full-time income, it's going to take a good amount of time. And again, from my experience, spreading bets, not going all in on one stock and not spreading too thin, but keeping it at about 3-5 stocks in the swing trading portfolio, that's the way to go. And another thing worth mentioning, which I love doing this, swing trading blue chip stocks. We're talking Apple, Amazon, the Facebooks of the world, Starbucks, Walmart, Target, companies like this. Sure, you can also swing trade mid-cap, small-cap stocks, but those have a lot more volatility. And from my experience, they're a bit less predictable when it comes to their trend. For example, if you were swing trading Virgin Galactic, sure, you can make a lot of money doing this, but it goes both ways. You could lose a lot of money, and there's the trend's unpredictable. You guys can see here, we tried breaking out of $36. We failed. Now we're at $26 a couple days later, and maybe we hold 26, rally up to 36. That could be an opportunity to swing trade. But overall, very volatile, and I personally love trading the blue chip stocks. And a couple years ago, before I got heavier into trading the blue chip stocks, I was doing crazy things. I was trading earnings. I was doing short-term call options. I was trading inverse ETFs a lot, and I got burnt heavily, which is why I've transitioned more into the blue chip stocks, large cap stocks, in terms of swing trading them, and it's worked very well for me. And another thing, point number 3 here, is the trend. The trend is your friend, especially when you're swing trading, which this is a swing trading video, obviously. Let's say you're long-term investing, it doesn't really matter that much, the trend. But when you're swing trading, the trend is your friend. Let's say you want to swing trade a company that's downtrending like Alibaba or a lot of these Chinese stocks for that matter. In my opinion, that's not a good idea. You're going to get burnt. It's moving under the moving averages. We're seeing a death cross, the 50s crossing under the 180 SMA here. That's not the best swing trading setup. But what is the best swing trading setup is, and we'll talk about this in a couple of minutes in terms of patterns that I look for. I like looking for companies that are uptrending, right? They're slowly moving back over the moving averages on a dip and picking them up on that dip. And another thing worth mentioning is I like looking at companies that don't have crazy negative spotlight around them, or companies that didn't report crappy earnings. For example, this goes back to the Chinese stocks. They have a huge negative spotlight around them right now in terms of the U.S. and China going at it, delisting, all that crazy stuff. Why would you want to swing trade a company that is going through that? Well, when you're looking at long term, that's completely different. In fact, I've been buying Alibaba in my long term accounts, but this is not a long term video. If you're looking at a swing trade, you don't want to get into something that has a lot of negative spotlight, negative press, earnings are not great, and so forth, if you guys get what I mean, right? You want to get into companies that aren't seeing negative spotlight, that are uptrending, that just reported pretty good earnings, guidance looks strong. You want everything on your side. You want everything to be in your favor in order to make that $100 a day, in order to make that full-time income swing trading the stock market. So let's get into some patterns and some examples here that I look at. And this is not too crazy of an in-depth video. I hope you guys are finding value, though. Make sure to smash the like button if you are, and share this video with somebody else. But I am going over brief points here and my perspective as in-depth as I can in a YouTube video, right? We can't go 20, 30, 40 minutes on this stuff because, quite honestly, most people will fall off 10, 15 minutes in, which is why I have to keep it tight, short, and concise. So patterns I look for. I like uptrends, right? Starbucks is one that I'm looking at potentially right now as a swing trade, right? We ended up selling off from 127 to about 117, opening up a 10% window. So that is where we as swing traders can come in and make roughly 10% if this were to go back to all-time highs at about $127, $128 per share. And this one is slowly trying to break back over the moving averages. And the moving averages in this case on the 4-hour chart are right around 118 bucks, right around that 50 and the 180 moving averages. And that's also a big resistance from back in the middle of April. So for me to take this trade, I would want to see it break out above the moving averages, probably 118 to about 120. So I'm going to put my alert right around there, probably $119 per share. And I'm a very simple trader at the end of the day. I don't use crazy indicators, oscillators, VWAP, MACD. I mean, I simply use moving averages, RSI, and volume. Literally, that's it. And it's worked for me. I mean, I feel like people try to make things too complicated, look at all these different indicators. A lot of that stuff is noise at the end of the day, guys. All you really need is volume, RSI, and I'd say moving averages are the most important, which, again, I just said I use those as well. So in this case, I like Starbucks' setup. Dip by, 10% drop, but we need to see the break above the moving averages. I also look for ascending triangles. You guys that have been watching my videos, you know that. I love ascending triangles and spotting them before the breakout. One that we called recently was SPY, which tracks the S&P 500. If you guys look here on the 20-day chart, what is this? An ascending triangle from the middle of July to about the beginning of August, so about 3 weeks, we were making higher lows. First low was at 420, followed by 436, followed by about 440, but we were seeing resistance at 440, 441, 442 from about the end of July to the beginning of August. So the way that ascending triangles play out is we break out of the resistance, we see that leg up, and that is where we can buy the breakout as a swing trader. And that's exactly what happened. We broke 441, boom. Now we're at 446. We gained about $5 per share. In other words, about 1%. Nothing too crazy, but that's one example. Another example here is Cisco, CSCO. We also called this one out. You guys can see here on the 4-hour chart, clear ascending triangle. We were making higher lows for the past couple of months, pretty much all of 2021, and we saw a resistance at about 55. We struggled there for a good month and a half, and we ultimately broke out of 55. Now we're hitting 56, and we're moving higher, we're breaking out, we're seeing that leg up out of the ascending triangle, now with a target at about $58. So this is what I look for, guys. Uptrends on the pullback, ascending triangles that are about to break out. J&J is another example of an ascending triangle. Look at this 4-hour chart, guys. Clear resistance at 172, pretty much all of 2021, but we were uptrending into that very beautifully, and it broke out, and we called this one out as well. It broke out from 172. Now we're at 177. This is a textbook ascending triangle breakout. One more example here. I also look at wedge breakouts. Sometimes stocks make lower highs at the same time as they're making higher lows. Facebook is an example here in the short term. Lower highs have been being made ever since the end of July, but we've also been making higher lows. So I'm going to wait and see if Facebook could break out of this wedge at about 365. At that point, we might be able to go long for a move back up to all-time highs. Another one that I'm looking at is Apple, which is also at a wedge, in a wedge. You can see it clearly here on the 20-day chart. Maybe actually on the, let's pull up that 90-day chart. Look at that. Lower highs, higher lows. Now, we tried breaking out this morning. We hit an all-time high, but we pulled back. That all-time high was at 150.59. Now we're at 147. And look, I'm telling you guys, now that we're holding the moving averages, this is kind of a 2-in-1. We're pulling back, so we're holding the moving averages, which goes with the first pattern I look at, uptrends that are pulled back. And we're trying to break out of the wedge. So it's a 2-in-1. And if we break out of 150, don't be surprised if Apple's going 155, 160 in the short term, and that's what I look for. So overall, in a 10-15 minute YouTube video, guys, that is how I look to make $100 a day. You have to have, just to quickly run through this again, you have to have a decent size account. You don't need to be a millionaire, but you got to have at least 40, 50, 60K. You got to focus on a couple positions. Don't spread yourself too thin. And in my opinion, focusing on the blue chips is the best way to go. Large caps as well. Doesn't necessarily have to be blue chips. And don't fight the trend. If a stock is getting decimated, if it's downtrending, don't fight the trend, especially if you're swing trading. And look for the patterns that we mentioned. Uptrends that are, that are pulled back, that are trying to break back over the moving averages, or that are holding the moving averages and are looking to rally. Ascending triangles are my favorite, and wedge breakouts. And we could talk about inverse head and shoulders. Those are great as well, but I don't want to spread or spend too much time on this video because it's already getting a bit long. So yeah, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and drop a comment, and share this video with a friend if you found value. I'd greatly appreciate that. And make sure to check out my Patreon for all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, a morning update video, more access to me throughout the day. That's linked down below. And you guys can get $50 from M1 Finance, 2 stocks from Webull. Limited time on both of those. Grab them up. Link down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Again, as always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out.